Blake is led by seniors Mackenzie Williams with 3 goals, 3 assists. Hannah Jones, 3 goals, 3 assists. And Ella Bond with 2 goals and 2 assists. She was last year's leading scorer. Dodge, of course, led by junior phenom Maisie Cook, the recent University St. Thomas signee. She's already 15 points on the year, 8 goals and 7 assists. Dodge controls the opening face-off. Up to center ice, Zoe Heimer squirts free down the far side. Tries to backhand it back to Maisie Cook, goes off her stick. Alexa Van Stratton with it. Wheeling to the middle. Over for Buskin. Puts one towards the net. Hits a little traffic. Bounce off to the side. Dodge still trying to control it. Now Blake finally breaks free. Gets it up ahead to Arthur. She's got a one-on-one. Shoots it off the pad of Faith Marks. Back around we go again. Dodge trying to keep it in the zone. It's going to be held on for a face-off. Coming into Blake's zone off to the left side of Janie McGaughan. A very solid goaltender for Blake. She's already seen 124 shots this year, only allowed 3 goals. Or 5 goals, I should say. Like 97% save percentage, so you have to earn it to get one by her. Davy Harns back into the Blake zone. Tries to get over Sprider, tied up in front. Goes into the far corner. Harns with it again. Drops it back for Sprider. Sprider back behind the Blake net. Going towards the middle. Up to the point. Held into the zone. Williams tries to get it out for Blake. She finally gets out of the zone. Comes across center ice. She's got good speed coming. Nola Dowland had kind of lost an edge and fell into the Wildcat zone. Offsides is called. Faith Humphreys in goal for Dodge County. She's also been very solid. 3 shutouts to start the year. Save percentage up around 95%. Wildcats bring it back in, offsides. Will Harns bringing it in, just a 7th grader for the Wildcats. Getting lots of action on the third line. Couple goals already to her name this year. Maisie Cook wins a faceoff. Over to Warnicki. Warnicki loses it off her stick right towards the goal. A dangerous play. McGaughan tried to put a glove on it, kind of missed it. It bounced right back out in front of her. Little scrum in front of the net. Well, face-off coming to McGaughan's left once again. Dodge County controlling most of the action to start this in the first few minutes. Blake did have a couple quick opportunities, though, coming the other way. Van Stratton puts it just wide. Around the boards it comes. Macy Cook dumps it deep, misses Zoe Heimer. Arthur with it now for Blake. Ends up back on Warnicki's stick out in front. Knocked into the corner. Blake tries to clear here once again. Bisbee with it. Now loses it to the Wildcats. Maisie Cook over to Sophia Buskin. She couldn't quite handle the pass. She still regains it. Puts a shot into the belly of McGaughan. She hangs on. It looks like we'll have a face-off probably coming to her right this time. Wethington tries to take it back around behind her own net. She's headed up by Sprider. Wildcats keep it in. Oh! Meyer with a shot Harns with a quick follow-up there. McGaughan, though. Couple solid saves there. She gloves it. We'll have another face-off in the Bear zone. Maybe the best scoring opportunity for either team right there. Kind of did a short hop bounce into McGaughan, and actually I think it was Hodgman was on that far side. Got a good whack at it, but McGaughan did a good job of getting her body in front of it. Out to the front. Josie Fulton with a good shot, kicked aside by McGaughan. Now Hodgman pestering back behind the net. Palmstein comes away with it up along the board. Sprider knocks her off the puck. Back to Hodgman. Sprider with it back to the middle. She tries to get it over to Hodgman. Knocked away by Kyle into the corner. Sprider with it back to the middle. Rips one off the blocker of McGaughan into the near side corner. They try and bring it up. That's knocked down by Meyer, but she was about a foot outside of the zone. Right on the Sprider stick, who carries it in for the offsides. So far, 7 shots on goal for the Wildcats to 1 for Blake, but the one shot they had was a good shot. Came on kind of a one-on-one breakaway. If that is such a word, a one-on-one breakaway, I guess doesn't make much sense, but tied up in the far side corner of the Wildcat zone. Jones fighting for it, decks it away to O'Shea. Still out front, looking for Rattler, kind of knocks it away. Up on the Paxel stick, shoots it ahead for Willow Harns. Loses it away, and Bisbee will come the other way for the Bears. Takes it down the far side wall, rims it back behind Humphreys, and goal for the Wildcats. Into the corner, back behind Humphreys it goes once again. High breakout pass, hard to handle for Warnicki. Wethington comes with good speed, knocked away nicely by Van Stratton. Wethington's a good-looking and hard-playing defenseman for the Bears. Wildcats will have to keep an eye on her. Heimer, far side wall, tries to bring it to the middle. Josie Fulton kind of ends up having to have a weak backhand on it, but it hit something in front and just bounced wide. Wethington comes away with it once again. Arthur loses it off her stick. Maisie Cook up to Fulton. Back behind the net to Warnicki. She loses an edge in the corner. The Bears try and break away again. Bodies flying all over the ice right now. Heimer comes away. Puck floating towards the center of the ice. And we come the other way. The Iowa Dahlem comes across hard. Ben Sprider trips right over her into the zone. Sprider may have lost a bad edge on that one now. Couple falls. Had a couple trips that could have been called on that, I think, and finally they come away with the Iowa Dahlem going into the box. Wildcats on their first power play opportunity. They're hitting at about 54% on the power plays. They've scored on 6 of 11 opportunities. The Bears yet to give up a power play goal. And they defended 17 power plays, yet to give one up, so something's got to give here. Harns comes away with it. Puts it up ahead center ice. Heimer comes away. We're into the zone. Wildcats have to take up. Wethington tries to bring it free. Bounces over a couple players' sticks. Now we're fighting up against the wall right in front of us. Williams and Sprider battling at it. Josie Fulton comes away. Daisy Harns carries it into the zone. Wildcats get a change. Josie Fulton whips it towards the net. Bounces right on the Warnicki's stick, but I think it surprised her. Williams tries to clear it. Wildcats having trouble getting the power play set up. Now Kylie Myers comes across and rips one into the chest of McGaughan. Kylie Meyer from the point, when she lines up, hard to find anybody that shoots one harder than she does. I always joke with her, you never know exactly where it's going to go, but it's going to go someplace really hard. Myers gets it poked away. Her stick by Jones, a nice defensive play there. Up at center ice. Hodgman now will bring it into the zone. Ends up Brandon Wethington's stick. She reverses course. Tries to flip it out, but puts it on Josie Fulton's stick, who dumps it. Sophia Buskin with it. Up to Meyer. Tries to get over Fulton, unable to handle the pass. Sends it towards the net. Hodgman back behind the net. On the Warnicki stick. Up to Meyer. Hard shot. Saved off into the corner. Now back behind the net. 6 seconds left on this power play. It appears Blake's going to stay perfect on their penalty kill for the year. Meyer fans on it. Turns into a breakaway from Williams. Oh, just shoots it wide. She had Humphreys beat, but put it over the top of the goal. Now we come back the other way. Warnicki comes back. Bears trying to change. Now Wildcats will get a change as well. Got the net, Solonek. Fans on it. Ends up on the stick of Bisbee. Tries to chip it out. Van Stratton. Up to Wilhards. Gets knocked off the puck. Right on the Rattler stick in front of the net. She turns and fires. Nice play by Macy Fulton up along the score table. Paxel with it now. Over to Van Stratton. Van Stratton comes across. Up to Wilhards. She'll try it one more time. Takes it. Tries to take it around the net. Gets bumped off the puck once again. Up ahead. Myers will be there. She whacks it to the other end. Icing's called. Well, a face-off coming down into the Wildcat zone. Say it's coming to the left of Humphreys. Near side circle for us. 12 shots on goal to 1 in Dodge County's favor. But the Bears have had a couple golden opportunities here. The shots on goal are a little deceiving. Meyer comes across, whacks one. That's what we were talking about with her slap shot from just outside the blue line. Nobody in between her and McGaughan, though, and an easy just playing catch. McGaughan gloves it. I'm getting the feedback in my. I'm getting that in my. Up along the boards. Arthur flips it out. Myers is there to head it off. Send it up. Trying to get it up to Warnicki. She loses an edge. Puck gets knocked into the Bear zone. Kyle back to retrieve it. Gets up to Palmstein. She rims it up along the boards. Heinmiller tries to get it up ahead to Dowell. Ends up on the stick of Van Stratton, who gets taken down at center ice. I was looking at the one official who didn't call anything. The official way across the ice called penalty. Isla Dahlem back in the box again. 2 minutes, we'll put the Wildcats back out on the power play once again. Had trouble setting much up the first time. It was a good kill by Blake. And right away, Blake's able to clear it. Daisy Harns back. They'll dump it. Daisy will get it. Try and retrieve it back. Harns with it again. Van Stratton over to Cook. Back to Harns. Very aggressive kill by Blake. I don't think Dodge County's quite seen that much so far this year. Their power play opportunities. Finally getting it set up a little bit. Up to Cook on the near boards. Gets it over to Daisy Harns. Back to Van Stratton in the middle. Wheels a shot just wide. Cook gets it back. She works it to the middle. Tries to get it back to Van Stratton just beyond her reach. Van Stratton will hold the zone. Dump it down. Sprider will be back to it. She tries to dump it over to Heimer and puts it right on the Kyle's stick instead. She dumps it to the end of the ice. 48 seconds. Wildcats get some new skaters on the ice. Offsides is called. As we said, it's Minnesota State, the Star Tribune's game of the week. Big crowd here tonight for a Tuesday night game. Stands are full. Quite a few fans standing around both ends. Number 2 and number 4 ranked teams in the state battling on tonight. 0-0 tie. 5.5 left in the first. Josie Fulton to back to Meyer. Meyer races down the near side. Puts a hard shot. She puts it in. Myers gets a goal. She really had no angle on that shot. I think that hit the post and bounced right into the back of McGon and into the net. I heard the post hard, and then it was bouncing behind her. As they said, J.D. McGon does not give up many. The Wildcats will take what they can get. They're off to a 1-0 lead. 5:34 left in the first. Hayden Sprider with it now. Flips it back to Will Harns. Kylie Meyer, that's her second goal of the season. Had a great time for the Wildcats. Gets dropped back behind the net. Pinned up against the wall. Paxel working against Jones, I think. It was Jones. It was hard to see her number from this angle. It gets knocked out to center ice. Palmstein there, bothered by Will Harns. Gets it up ahead to Nola Palmstein. Gets taken down. That was O'Shea, I guess, 17 instead of 12. She gets taken down in front of the Wildcat fans. A couple people maybe wanted a little call on that. We play on. Josie Fulton retreats. Brings it up along the boards, just beyond the reach of Heimer. Dessingen with it. Kicks it up to center ice. Josie Fulton played a good game here so far in this first period. Loses off her stick, and Dowling comes the other way. Had numbers for a second, but Wildcats get back in a hurry. Fight for it up along the boards again. That's Bond that comes free with it. Gets knocked off her stick up against the wall again, and we have the old rugby scrum once again. Still battling. It comes out. Dowling loses it off her stick. It's knocked away nicely by Meyer. Up to center ice. Wethington with it. Bounces it off the wall, just out of the reach of Nolan Dowling. Meyer tries to kick it high as they get in a change. Throws it a little too high off the rafters here at the Ice Palace. We're going to have a face-off right in front of us. 3:36 left in the first. 1-0 Wildcats. Held a 14-1 shots on goal advantage. Blake has won the majority of the face-offs tonight. Sprider with it up along the wall. Tries to get it up to Harns. She has it knocked off her stick. The thing you know is watching these teams, they both got good speed. And they're both hard on the forecheck. Nobody has much time to reach. Oops, Sprider breaks free. She tries to get it over to Hodgman. Gets knocked away. Hodgman has it in the corner. Tries to retreat it back. Busky to hold the line. Hodgman once again. She gets a shot off that trickles off a stick and goes just wide. Kind of a misdirection. Those are tough for the goaltenders. Sprider broke free on a potential breakaway. Late in her shift, though, I think. And by the time she got the puck, she had a couple three trail and tried to get it over the Hodgman. Hit a stick. As a result, we're just having a face-off to the left of McGaughan. Meyer winds up. Puts another one right into the glove. Shot number 16 for the Wildcats. Meyer walks it in this time. Rips one again just high. Rattler trying to retrieve it. Drops it back behind the net. Paxel gets outraced to the puck. Jones fires up ahead. Just beyond the reach of O'Shea. Shot put back on goal. Kyle comes away with it. Warnicki steps in front of the pass nicely. Ends up with a still on her stick. Over the Cook. Puts one right into the belly of McGaughan. Face-off coming in the Bears zone once again. Cook with it, back behind the net, tries a centering pass, nobody home. And Williams will break free with it. She's got Bond to her right, feeds it off to her, rips one up over the net, high over Humphrey's head. Up to center ice it comes again. Withington, she's retreating way back into her own zone, tries to get it up ahead to Dowlam, beyond her reach, and we have an icing called. 1:28 left in the first. 1-0 Wildcats. If you're a Wildcat fan, it's got a good and bad. They controlled almost all of the first period, out shooting the Bears 17-1. If you're the Bears, you almost got to feel kind of good. You've taken the best shot from the Wildcats, and you're only down one goal. It's the joys of having somebody like Janie McGaughan in a goal for you. She keeps you in a lot of games. Knocked out of the zone. Back to the other end, and we're going to have a replay of this. Have another icing call, so we'll head right back to the same spot. Try this face-off one more time. Harns and Dowlam in the circle. Harns wins this one, but a little too hard. Bounces out of the zone. Buskin drops it deep. McGaughan heads it off behind his own. Sprider's there to get it. She comes towards the middle, gets it up to Buskin. Buskin tries to give it back to Sprider, just beyond her reach a little bit. Heidmiller has it, but ends up back on Sprider's stick again, who comes the other way. Driven up against the boards. Harns with it. Hodgman fighting down there. Van Stratton. Dropped it to Buskin. Puts it on net, but Wildcats, it was delayed offsides. They regroup. Drop it back into the zone. Selenik, first one there for the Bears. 20 seconds left. She tries to get it up ahead to Dowlam. Goes on her backside onto Meyer's stick, who gets about her 7th shot of the first period off. Kylie Meyer's been putting on kind of a shooting clinic in this first period. Bisbee with it. Trying to just kill out the time now. That'll do it. End of the first period. Dodge County Wildcats 1. Blake Bears 0. Wildcats out shooting them 18-1. Wildcats outshot them 18-1 in the first period. But as we were discussing in intermission, a lot of those shots came from 12 to 18 feet away, and you'll never beat Janie McGowan by doing that. One of the top goaltenders in the state. Proven why as she keeps her teammates in this game. Just like that, she takes a rip from Maisie Cook, the leading scorer for the Wildcats. McGowan hangs on to it. Well, face-off coming to her right. Heidmiller and Cook in the center of the circle. Cook wins the draw. Back to Van Stratton, puts one hard and high over the net. We have a penalty coming away from the ice. A stick laying on the ice. I would guess that Zoe Heimer's guilty of something, as she had a stick. Adeline Worthington did not have a stick. Imagine a slash. I didn't see it. It was away from the ice, or away from the action. Heimer heads to the penalty box. She's no stranger to the penalty box. Wildcats on their first penalty kill. They've given up one goal and 11 kill opportunities. Sprider drops it down the length of the ice. Blake's power play has struggled. Only 7% scoring for them. 1 out of 17 opportunities. Into the corner, Sprider tries to whip it again, hits it off some bodies. Cook tries to whack it. She loses it. Arthur wheeling back to the point. Heidmiller puts a shot, hits some skates in front, never makes it to the net. Meyer. Now Sprider gets it to the length of the ice. Tapped up hard, trying to catch the Wildcats on a change, and they do. Meyer, big rebound given up by Humphreys. Comes back around. Meyer, the first one there. Wildcats get their kill unit back on the ice. It was 4-on-2 there for a minute. Arthur, bodies have been flying around all over. Wildcats have wanted a couple penalties. Blake Faithful wanted a couple extra here too. Nothing being called. It's up to the point. Hodgman with good effort gets it away from Bond and whips it to the other length of the ice. Worthington, she'll quarterback this power play. She comes up with a head of steam, bounces it up to Williams. Williams gets by Meyer down the near side wall. Still with it, centered out in front. Hard centering pass kind of through everybody. Now into the corner. Solonek up to Bond, who whips one. Williams on the stick, puts it off Humphrey's shoulder. Couple good opportunities there, back to back for the Bears. Up to the point, Solonek with it. Comes up, Warnicki coming out as Hyman went to the bench out of the penalty box and stepped right in front of a pass. Send to the length of the ice. Wildcats back to full strength. Whoa, Hart's coming in, rips it right into the chest of McGowan. She came breaking in all alone. McGowan squared up well, didn't really give her much of an area to shoot at. Harns kind of puts it into her shoulder, bounces down harmlessly into her glove. She hangs on, and we'll have a face-off in the near side circle. Won by the Wildcats. Back to Van Stratton, rips one, hits traffic. Bouncing around still. Back behind the net. Kyle gets it up for Arthur. Up for Jones. Bears come across, wheeling and dealing. Tries to get it across from Arthur. Bounces in front, goes right through the crease. Humphrey was going one way and the puck was going the other, but it makes it through. Over to Harns. Harns tries to send it back to Paxo, couldn't handle the pass. Action's heating up here both ways. Not much for shots on goal, but they're coming an odd man rushes both ways. Jones kicks it across for Heinmiller. Off her stick. Wildcats, it's delayed offside. They try and take up. Bears come across. Arthur with it down the near side wall. Loses an edge. Maisie Cook will come the other way with good speed. She's got Williams trying to stay in her, between her and the net. Does a good job. Cook back to Heimer. Centering pass across, trying to get back to Cook. She cannot connect on it. Fulton loses off her stick up at the blue line. Now Fulton holds it. Gets knocked out her stick. Arthur comes the other way. She's got Williams coming to her left. Myers tries to get a stick in. I think she might have just got a piece of it and tipped it up over the net. A 2-on-1 there for the Bears. A great opportunity. Oh, big hit. It's kind of a collision, I think, both ways. Right in front, whacking. Bond has 2 or 3 whacks at it. Goes off Humphrey's chest and right back onto her stick multiple times. Wildcats are able to clear it. Bisbee comes back in. Bears putting on the most pressure they've put on the whole game right now. Jones centers it out in front. Bond was tied up nice by Hodgman. Sprider bumps it free. Sprider's off to the races. She's got one man over there. She tries to whip it across. She had Hodgman, didn't have much of an angle to get it to her. Sprider ran out of a little bit of real estate. Chasing the puck down. She's still with it back by the net. Puts on the brakes. Looking for somewhere to go. Comes back to the middle. Centers it to Hodgman. Who puts good lumber on it right into the glove of McGaughan. Maybe the Wildcats' best scoring opportunity of this period. The Bears have had a handful of opportunities. Not always getting a shot off, but first game was heavy on the in the Bears zone. Wildcats controlling most of the action. This one, it's really evened up. Bears come out. Once they had some type of pep talk. Back around the boards. Jones drops it back for Kyle. Up across. Heinmiller comes. Good speed coming across. Looking for Jones. Tied up nice by Harns. Puck goes into the corner. Both teams are just quick. Have very fast forwards. Every time it looks like a break's going to materialize, somebody on the defensive side comes flying up to head them off. Found the Wildcats all year so far. This is the first time they've seen this kind of speed. Palmstein bounces it off the boards. Dahlem. Warnicki battling. Taken off her stick by Bond. Offsides is going to be called. There was a fight for it right close to the blue line. By the time it came free, Barrett jumped the line in anticipation, just a little too eagerly. Offsides, far side, right in front of the Bear bench will be the face-off. Controlled by the Bears. Solonek dumps it deep, rims around the boards. Meyer with it, drops back behind Bond. Taken off the puck by Cook. Rims it up the boards. Bisbee with it. Gets it down for Williams. Williams finds Bond in the far side corner. Meyer with a good defensive play. Gets on the stick of Maisie Cook. And she comes across with good speed. Tries to get around a couple players. Bouncing down in front. Ends up on Warnicki's stick. Bounces it off the wall to Meyer. Up to Sprider. Puts one on. Kick to side. Aiden Sprider that one was. Heimer gets it right out to Warnicki in front, who pushes it wide. Nice pass by Heimer. Heimer plays that behind the net as well as anybody. Paxel puts it up on the Noel Darmstick, who dumps it back by the net. Aiden Spreader, fans on it. Bounces up over the net. Dangerous. Humphrey with a save. I'm not sure if she even really saw it. Bounced over the top of her from behind the net. Meyer tries to clear it, hits a body. O'Shea up to Aiden Spreader, who whacks it back. It's playing a little whack-a-mole right here at the neutral zone for both teams. Meyer now with it. Paxel gets taken down from behind. The physicalness is picking up in this one. Got Dallum. Aiden Spreader drives her off the puck. Onto Wellington's stick, though. Meyer high off the boards. Could be icing if it makes it. And it does. Second period's much more physical than the first. Here, fans on both sides doing their best refereeing impressions up here. Face-off coming on the near side in the Wildcat zone. Harns and Dallum in the center of the circle. Knocked back to Kyle. Tries to put a shot on. Gets deflected. Harns over to Hodgman. Down the far side wall. Back to Harns. He gets taken off the puck by Kyle. Did just enough to disrupt that play. Kyle still with it on her stick. Up ahead to Jones. Down the far side wall. Already they call Sprider. A little too much push in there. So once again, the Bears will go on a penalty kill. Or they'll be on the power play. Figured eventually something would be called out here. Cook wins it. Back to Van Stratton, who whips to the length of the ice, actually puts it on net. Wellington quarterbacks this Bear penalty kill. Oh, they had Down breaking down the far side. This misser, they set it up. Down, off her stick in front. Macy Cook has a chance. Towards the end of her shift. Macy's as fast as anybody and came in without a whole lot of gas on that one, I don't think. Back behind the net. Wellington, once again. She'll direct traffic. Gets it on up just beyond the reach of Jones. That'll bring an icing call. They had the stretch pass, kind of hit the boards right as it was reaching Jones' stick and bounced away from her. Went the length of the ice and 1:10 left in this power play. Williams back behind her own net. Gets it over to Bond. Bond has it knocked away by Harns. Barnes still with the puck though. Take it back behind the net. They'll try the other side. Williams with it. This is off her stick and Hodgman drops it deep. Nolan Dallum. Way to Solinek. Solinek goes back by her own net. 30 seconds left in a power play. She tries to go up the far side walls and turns around, goes the other way. Now Williams breaks out. Williams with good speed. She makes that one dreaded move right before the blue line. O'Shea anticipating things, had already gone into the zone. So we'll have offsides called. Face off right in front of us. 21 seconds left in the power play opportunity for Blake. Linesman pushing the girls back in the face-off. I always get a kick out of that. As soon as he turns his back, they always go right back. Palmstein sent across for Worthington. Over to Dowlam, gets knocked off her puck. Oh, looked like the Wildcats could have been offsides there too. Nothing called. We come back the other way. Jones with it. Tries to dump it deep. Puck battling around over at center ice. Dowlam comes away with it, takes it back behind her net. Gives it back to Worthington. Worthington to Arthur. Knocked away nicely by Van Stratton. Ends up on her stick back to the middle. Tried to feed Heimer, gets knocked away. And now we come the other way. Viola Dowlam takes a slap shot right off the shin pad of Sophia Buskin. Into the far side corner. Driven into the corner. Arthur comes away with a nice move to the middle. She brought it right between the circles. Gets off a great shot that goes off a stick and high into the netting. Shots on goal this period now are 5-4 in favor of Blake. They evened the ice up quite a bit. This period's been back and forth. Fast pace for both teams. Josie Fulton back behind the net. Tries to win the race. Hodgman. Fighting Josie Fulton, jumps it up around the boards. Sprider comes away on the near side. She tries to bounce it past a couple of players. Hodgman tries to get it back to Sprider. Hits a stick in front and knocked away. Both teams doing a great job defensively. Not letting any shots really hardly reach the net, or any good ones anyway. Like I said, Wildcats have 22 shots on goal, but only about 6 of those are real good scoring opportunities. Bond and Sprider battle in the corner. Up to the point, Josie Fulton. Heimer with it now. She tries to drop it down in the corner. Bond's there to pick it off. Still batting at the blue line. Bond comes away once again. The whistle's blown. I'm not exactly sure. Not sure what the whistle was for sure. Maybe they got an offside on. Puck bouncing around back and forth at the blue line there. Face off right in front of us. Cook and Leila Dowlam battle. Puck comes straight out. It's up on Worthington's stick for the Bears. She gets it ahead for Jones. Nice pass over to Dowlam, unable to handle it. Kind of was bouncing a little bit. Now down in this near side corner. Buskin and Jones battle and fall into a pile. Up along the boards. Warnicki tries to beat Worthington. That's not an easy thing to do. We have another offsides called here. It's again the face-off right in front of us. Spreader gets it back to Van Stratton. Hodgman up ahead. Gets it over, tries to get it to Sprider just beyond her reach. She was kind of tied up nicely by Worthington. Couldn't get a stick on it. Dowlam comes up across the net. She fires another slap shot from the blue line. Buskin throws it off a body. Ends up on Worthington's stick once again. Van Stratton. She'll take it across. Wildcats will get a change. She puts it on net. Gone wisely. Drops it off to the side as the Wildcats are on the change. They come up the other end of the ice. Jones flips it into the near side corner. Worthington She's spinning around, tries to whip it back to Jones. Fulton got a stick on it, but pushed it right back to a Bear player. I didn't see who it was for sure. Wethington, it looks like, puts it in the back of the net. Adeline Wethington, second goal of the season. And that's a big one. Ties things up with 2 minutes, 50 seconds left. We have a 1-1 game. Off the face off. Bears go down again. Icing's going to be called as well, face off down in a Blake Bear zone. 2:45 left in this fast-paced second period. Up to Meyer at the point. Right on the Heimer's stick, who pushes it just wide. I thought it was a backhand throw. Not sure she knew exactly where she was. Palmstein to Kyle. Battling back around the boards again. Heimer ends up with it on her stick. Now Bond comes away. Bond gets up at O'Shea. O'Shea pushes one towards the net. Williams gets a crack at it. Wildcats up to center ice. Puck squirts away. Kyle with it. Wildcats on a bad change if it gets there. Fulton with a nice play. Where the Bears had a great advantage with all the Wildcats changing. Bryn Sprider overskates the puck. Bounces out to the middle. Fulton once again. Comes up ahead. Solonek with it. Dumps it into the Wildcat zone. It's knocked free down to the other end of the ice. And we'll have icing called. Face-off coming back down into the Wildcat zone. Said shots on goal this period are favor of Blake 8-5 right now. It was 18-1 in the first period in favor of Dodge. So as I mentioned, things have changed this period. Rimmed up hard along the boards. Solonek dumps it back into the Wildcat zone. Van Stratton back there to get it. Tries to take it back behind her net. Dollum's there with good pressure. Now Warnicki gets it across to Cook off her stick. Solonek will head back the other way. She puts a shot into Humphreys. Knocked off into the near side corner. Good hard play by Arthur there. Keeps it in the zone. Now the Wildcats whip it the length of the ice, but it's puck's on its end. It won't reach for icing. Solonek tries to stretch it up ahead. Warnicki gives way to Dolan. Off her shin pad. Bounces up ahead for Harns in a race with Wellington. Wellington wins that one. Comes back with a full head of speed into the Wildcat zone. Puts one right into the chest of Humphreys. We're going to have a face-off to her right with 16 seconds left in this second period. So there's multiple times it looks like there's going to be a breakaway or a 3-on-2 for either team, and just a lot of speed out there. Come back and pick people up from behind. 4 seconds left. Hodgman, 2 seconds, puts a shot on at the horn. high over the crossbar. The horn sounds. We're going to head to a second intermission with a 1-1 tie. Trickled into the net. It was 1-0 after one. And then Ella Bond nodded it with 2.5 left in the second period. Sneaking one by Faith Humphrey, who had been perfect up to that point. We get action going again. Karen Warnicki comes to the middle. Oh! Puts a first shot of the third period over the shoulder of Janie McGaughan. That'll give the Wildcats a 2-1 lead. We're just mentioning at the intermission that, talking amongst ourselves, that first 3 minutes of this period was going to be huge. Wildcats get a goal 13 seconds into the third period. Dallin brings it back into the zone. Daisy Harns back behind the net. Kicks up for Kylie Meyer. She tries to bump it ahead to Baron Hodgman. Fight for it on the blue line. Harns comes free with it. She puts a shot just wide. Battle in the corner. Knocked up past center ice. That'll go the length of the ice for an icing call. Dodge County applying all the pressure in the first minute. Who'd they give the assist to on that one, Todd? Huh? First goal of the third period. Scored by Taryn Warnicki. Assisted by Macy Cook. That's Taryn's 4th goal of the season. It'll be Macy Cook's 8th assist already, giving her team lead 16 points. Macy Cook, just a junior, already signed with St. Thomas. Play some D1 college hockey. Referees are discussing something. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Looks like they're pointing down in the corner. I don't know if there's an ice issue or an equipment issue or... You know what's going on, Mike? They're putting both teams to the benches. What? I'm wondering, it looks pretty wet down in that far corner. I've seen the referees pointing down there. This Dodge County arena was known for years as the coldest in the state. Now they got the heaters going pretty darn good. But Todd Helmerson on stats, he's almost getting a suntan from these heaters. Looks like they're looking at the ice. Looks like the officials aren't happy with how it is. Give it a few more minutes. Gives everybody a little chance to get refreshed and bring everybody's top unit probably back out on the ice. It's warm enough in here. I don't know how long it's going to take to cool this ice down. Blake coming in tonight, coming off a 1-0 win against Blaine. Saturday they travel to Farmington. Then next Thursday they go off to West Tonka. Couple hard games for them coming up as well. Farmington's had a very solid team there. Dodge come in off a 7-0 win against Minneapolis. As I mentioned, they play Minnetonka on Saturday and then Orono the following Saturday. So both teams are going to find out exactly what they have here real soon. Van Stratton off the face-off. Puts one off the pad of McGaughan. Up along the wall. O'Shea loses it. Van Stratton comes back the other way. A couple players exchange possession. O'Shea will drop it deep. Van Stratton the first one back. Gets it over to Buskine. Buskine up to Willow Harns. Tries to get it across from Rattler beyond her reach. They'll get a quick change as Kyle retrieves it for the Bears. Cook steps in front of a pass, drops it back behind the Bears zone. Warnicki feeling it after her goal this period. Up to Kylie Meyer, the other goal scorer tonight. Macy Cook puts one up, hits some pads, almost a dangerous one for McGaughan. Hit some pads and did a flutter up through the air. There's going to come a trip. Warnicki got taken down by Palmstein right in front of the officials. Oh, actually, they're sending them both. You seen Palmstein talking to the refs. Her stick was on the ice, so I'm not sure if there was maybe a hook or a slash before the trip. Coach Gunderson for the Wildcats wanting an explanation. We'll wait for hear what the announcement was from Joel Olson over there on the PA. No, Palmstein, it's going to go in for the trip, I would assume. We'll see what they got Warnicki for. We have 5-on-5 hockey still. They blow the face off dead, and we'll do that again. Sprider taps it back to Meyer. He tries to get a shot off, hits a stick in front. Not much with it. Meyer once again puts it towards the net. Hodgman with it. Loses it off her stick to Heinmiller. Harns with it back in the corner. Hodgman docks it down as Heinmiller tries to rim it around. Stretch pass just beyond the reach of Bond, who had snuck back behind Josie Fulton. Had a chance at a breakaway there. Well, face-off coming down into the Bear zone once again as icing's called, as that pass was a little far for everyone. Went to the other end of the ice. Hodgman battling with Solinek in the corner. Comes away with it, drops it back behind the net. No friends there for it, though. Still battling in front. Buskine trying to hold it. He comes free onto Dowham's hand. He gets stuck on the blue line, and the Bears go in offsides. .14-12 remaining in this game. Wildcats 2-1 lead. Back comes the Nessigen over to Wethington. Along the far side wall. Van Stratton will get to it. Chased by Heinmiller. She puts on the brakes up to Rattler. Tries to get ahead to Heimer, a little bit behind her and off her skate. McGaughan flips it up to William. Williams along the near far side wall. Tries to bounce it off the boards. Doesn't go far enough. Now Bond with it. as Williams darting down the middle, trying to get by Van Stratton. She does. Tries to do the toe drag. Unable to finish it, though. She had a whole net to shoot at. Unable to bring it from the backhand back onto the forehand. Best opportunity for the Bears this period. Bouncing around in front once again. Net gets knocked off. I didn't do a good job of looking to see what time these two gals went into the penalty box. For incidentals, so they'll be out on the first whistle once those 2 minutes expire. Face-off coming to the right of Humphreys in the Wildcat zone. Far side circle. Of Harns and the Isla Dahlem in the center circle facing off. Harns wins the draw. Back to Josie Fulton. Meyer. Hodgman tries to hit Sprider. Breaking up the middle. Sprider's got one girl to beat. Puts a shot on big back. Big rebound. Hodgman tries to put it back on net. Doesn't get there. Bisbee up high off the boards. Tries to get it to Arthur. Sprider back there with it. She takes it right down the middle. She's got a chance. Shot off the pad. Hodgman was going to her right. It bounces to her left. Couple decent opportunities for the Wildcats. Once again, shots coming from out a little bit. Got a couple rebounds off of McGowan there. God, and we were mentioning off the air that she hadn't given up a rebound hardly in the first two periods. Very impressed watching her. It's my first time seeing her this year. Battle for it along the near side wall. Bisbee loses it to Heimer. Warnicki comes in to knock it away. Ends up back at Heimer's stick. Heimer looking for somewhere to go up along the wall. Drops it back for Warnicki. Tries to get it across the Cook. Nice defensive play by Palmstein. Laid out for it. Blocked the pass. Along the wall, Williams. Williams been impressive tonight too. She's got good speed. That top line with her and Bond. Heinmiller. I guess it's, what do they have on there? Nola Dahlem and all some fast gals out here. Both sides. Cook in the circle. Facing off with Arthur. Actually, Heinmiller that was, my bad. Kicked free. Heinmiller with it once again. Tries to rim it up. She tried to rim it off the boards for Bond, I think, and it just kind of died coming off that corner wall. Cook with it out in front. Meyer loses it off her stick, whips it around the net. Macy Cook up at the point. Tries to whip it towards the net, puts it off of Bond's chest, and it bounces right into the Bears bench. The pay attention seats over there. Face off down to the corner. Bounce hard around the boards. Jones whips it the length of the ice, and we'll get to do this one again. Not sure if they were trying to, had a play called to try and stretch things, but she got the puck and whipped it the length of the ice right along the boards. Face-off coming near side circle in the Bear zone. Arthur and Harns facing off. Kicking Arthur out of the circle. She got a little jumpy. Noah Dahlem steps in. Wildcats win it. Oh, Meyer, it got deflected out in front. McGowan, I don't think ever saw as it flipped up in the air. It went off the crossbar. Now we come back the other way. Jones looked like offsides. Yep, they got it. Jones made a right-hand turn right at the blue line. Dahlem coming down that far side. Didn't anticipate that and went in. That's the most common offside, I think, is girls just ready to, shouldn't say girls, it's both sides. Boys action too, all the way into the NHL. Get to that blue line and try and make one more move. Everybody's anticipating things. Off the face-off win for the Bears, drop down deep into the Wildcat zone. Battle ensues in the near side corner. Bond comes away with it. Centering pass out in front right to Williams. She ends up being able to turn and put a shot on right up the chest of a Wildcat player. Heimer drops it for Warnicki. Warnicki gets another flip towards the net. Right into the glove of McGaughan. Warnicki with the lone goal here in this third period for the Wildcats, 4th on the year. Palmstein whips up along the boards, tries to get it to Williams. Van Stratton there to head it off. Passed over to Warnicki, who gets muscled off the puck by Bond. Now Cook with it, trying to make something happen. Gives it back to Van Stratton. Tries to put it towards the net. Hits a stick out in front. Williams comes away. She'll look to make something happen. Come down the far side. She's got Heinmiller and Bond with her. Sends one into the near side corner. Bond, the first one there. Ends up on Williams' stick. Williams played a really good game tonight. Called her name a lot. High along the boards. Gets by Kyle for the Bears. Puck bouncing around in the Bears zone. Kind of finally brought out by Dahlem. Meyer, the first one there, though. Gets it over to Hodgman. Hodgman to Sprider. Off the boards. That took a bad bounce off the board, too. Sprider overruns it. Now it comes back the other way. Jones, a nice play by Meyer. Hodgman, a good speed coming up the near side wall, looking for somewhere to go for it. Cut off nicely by Nessigen. Weddingham says, I'll control things. She takes it behind the net. Loses it off to Heimer. Over the front, Sprider puts it off the leg pad of McGaughan. Josie Fulton tries to drop it deep. Didn't get much on it, though. Now Buskin will take it up the ice. She has no friends as everybody changes. She takes it into the corner. Does her job. Driven off the puck by about 3 Bears. Dahlem loses it off her stick to Jones. Jones flips it the length of the ice. On net, so no icing. Bond, the first one for it for the Bears. Collision back behind the net. Williams back to get it again. I feel like every time I look up, Williams has the puck on her stick. She's got a lot of ice time in this third period, that's for sure. Looks as though both teams have kind of gone down to 2 lines a little bit here. 8 minutes left in a fast-paced third period. Off the draw. Bisbee tries to clear the zone. Finally does. Macy Fulton, the first one back to it. Tries to get it up out of the zone. Harn's battling for it. Over to Hodgman. Hodgman, the first one into the zone, puts it into the far side corner. Sprider knocks it back the other way. Now it ends up on Arthur's stick. She comes with good speed. She comes across. Everybody's onside. Williams ends up with it still on her puck. Tries to backhand it towards the center. Misses a breaking teammate. Now down into the corner. Meyer for the Wildcats. Kicks it up. Williams with the back on her stick again. Williams and Bond in the action here. Meyer tries to slip it down the ice. So Wildcats go on a change. Wasn't sure the puck was going to make it the length of the ice, but it does. So we'll have an icing call. Head back down into the Wildcat zone with 7:04 left. We'll see who has enough gas left in the tank. Players on both teams kind of grabbing the knees a little extra. Been physical in the corners, fast pace back and forth. Girls will earn a shower tonight. Macy Cook along the boards. Warnicki off her stick. Backhand flip by Jones, trying to get it over to Anderson there on the near side. Instead, sends the Wildcat coaches scattering. Faceoff comes to the center circle. Arthur and Heimer. Yeah, Macy Cook trying to cheat a little bit. Getting a head start. Battle for it right out in front of us. Anderson drops it deep. Sophia Buskin will be the first one there for hard off the board. Beyond the reach of Warnicki. That was high off the glass. Not much Warnicki could do with that one. It's one of those passes as an outlet from the D that the Wings hate. Puck squirts free now though. Warnicki feeling it. Gets a good shot off as she got beyond everybody. Length of the ice. They call off icing as Meyer made a play at it. Kind of missed it. Back around the net it goes. Springer and Bond will be the first two to it. Springer drives Bond off the puck. Meyer puts one hard off the boards. We'll race to the other end. They wave off icing. Now Hodgman, shot high over the net. Now Arthur comes back the other way. Williams trying to get it across. Arthur in front, still has a chance at it. Puck's bouncing free. Wildcats just try and clear the zone. Warnicki off her stick again. She sends it back behind the net. Wildcats get a change. Bodies flying over on the near side wall. Van Stratton shoots one high and wide. Anderson, the first one there for the Bears. Clears the zone. Cook the first one to it. Drop passes it to Heimer. Down centering pass right on the stick of Anderson, and she pushes it wide. She'd love to have that one back. There you go. Bodies getting a little rough over there in the corner. Not sure who's getting this one. There's a push and a shove, and both sides were wanting something. Then I believe Jones came flying in at the end there and gave a little cross check to Josie Fulton. And it's always the second or third offender that gets the call. Wildcats will go on a power play. They're 0 for 2 tonight. So they came in at a little over 50% scoring clip. And struggled getting anything together here on the power play so far. Blake's been very aggressive in their penalty kill. Van Stratton drops it deep. Sprider will be there. Knocked up into the bench. Well, the face-off coming back inside the Bear zone. 4:30 left. Then Stratton controls. Out the boards at Harns. Van Stratton, Harns. Heimer in the corner. Back up to Van Stratton. Pushes it into the near side corner. And Paulmeyer was able to clear length of the ice. Van Stratton over to Cook. Back to Van Stratton. Harns up the near side. Battle along the near side wall. Chewing up some time. Heimer with it. Heimer being pressured hard by Weddington. Harns ends up with it. Back to Van Stratton over to Harns. Shot from the point, right into the belly of McGaughan. She hangs on for her 29th save already. She's seen 31. 30 seconds left in this power play. .311 left in the game. Hodgman with it. Up to Meyer. Fulton back to Meyer. Off the blocker of McGaughan. Bounces back behind the net. Buskeen with it. Buskeen still with it. Up to Meyer. Bouncing around in front. McGaughan doesn't know where it's at. It's still loose. Hodgman with it. As we're back to full strength. 2.5 left. Meyer puts a shot up towards the net. Bouncing around in front. Taking hard off the boards. It won't make the end for icing. Jones in hot pursuit. Puck bounces over Hodgman's stick and into the Bear zone. Wellington fans on one. Weddington brings it up the ice. Now Bond circles there. Nice stick by Heimer. Jones drops a deep. Bond still with it. Sprider tries to center it. Nobody was there. Along the wall there. Gives it to Cook. Cook got good speed coming up ahead. Tries to get it by everybody. McDonald hang on. One and a half minutes left. 2-1 Wildcats. You wonder at what point the Bears will pull McGowan. I would expect a timeout. Yep, and right on cue. They have the timeout. Be a big, important face-off draw. Wildcats control the draw. It's hard to pull the goalie. The Bears gain control. It can get it into the Wildcat zone. Well, a little 6-on-5 action. Goals tonight for Dodge County by Taryn Warnicki and Kylie Meyer. For the Bears, Ella Bond picks up her third goal. They said that one has me questioning it a little bit as Wellington went through the line. It was a scrum in front that all happened. I didn't see who got it. They announced Ella Bond, but I still think it might have been Wellington that got it. But regardless, we have a 2-1 hockey game. Shots on goal are 33-11 by the Wildcats. Janie McGowan's been every bit as good as advertised. Even though the shots on goal discrepancy seems to be a lot, Blake's had a lot of really good opportunities that went high or wide, or 2-on-1s that the pass didn't connect. So normally you would see that kind of shots on goal. You'd think it's a pretty one-sided game, and this definitely hasn't been. Meyer off the draw. The Wildcats do control it. Heimer back behind the net. They'll want to just chew up some time. Warnicki comes in to try and help out. Wethington in the scrum for Blake. Looks like Heinmiller's there helping out too. Now the Bears finally come away with it. Palmquist high off the boards. Myers there to hold it. Williams comes free with it. Not a big surprise as she's had her stick on the puck, it feels like this whole period. Into the corner, final minute. Myers, the scrum. Finally able to whip it the length of the ice. Tries to get a goal. Goes just wide, so we'll have icing called. 41 seconds left. 47 seconds. I think it's at 41. 47 seconds. Face-off coming to the left of Humphreys. McGaughan has left the net. So we have 6-on-5. Hockey, empty net at the other end. Cook wins the draw. Meyer tries to put it high off the boards once again. A little too high and into the netting. So we'll do it again. That took 4 seconds. Down to 43 seconds left in this one. Kicking Williams out of the circle. So we have Heinmiller against Cook. Cook wins the draw once again. Heimer is trying to chew up time, holding it against the boards. It comes free. Cook with good speed. Tries to get it out of the zone. They get it out. Williams tries to bring it back in. Heimer's try at the goal. Down to 18 seconds. So icing's called once again. Heinmiller and Cook in the circle once again. Cook wins it one more time. Bouncing around. Cook sends it the length of the ice. This one has a chance into the corner of the net. 9.2 seconds left. Gives Wildcats a 3-1 lead. Kind of seemed like one of those curling shots. Started on the near side here and just slowly started working its way to the center. Just catches the near side corner.